Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. Now this is a new game that literally just dropped, and it's apparently a Souls-Lite game, so kind of like Souls-like but not really, a bit more easier, not as punishing and not as hard. So yeah, well, we'll just take a look. Now when it comes to the requirements, the minimum GPU you need is a GTX 1060 and the recommended GPU is a GTX 2060. CPU wise, the minimum CPU is an Intel Core i5-8400 and recommended CPU is an i7-8700K. So overall, pretty decent requirements. The game is made in Unity engine, so technically it should run fine. However, as you can see from the MSI left hand side, we're getting 24 frames at 4K Ultra preset, and this is just the loading screen. And the fun fact is, this is the performance you're actually gonna get in a game. So let's have a look at the settings real quick. As usual, we're going with the 4K native full screen resolution, and for graphics we're going with uncapped frame rate, no vertical sync, anti-aliasing on Ultra. DirectX 12, apparently there are a little bit of a difference in regards performance between DirectX 11 and 12, but 12 gives us DLSS, so you know, it's a bit of a trade-off. Super sampling, as you would expect, DLSS, FSR, Intel XCS, and for advanced graphics we're going with everything on Ultra. Now, let's jump into the game and let's just have a look at it, because I am quite surprised that despite the game being made in Unity engine, it literally runs like on 20 frames or 19 if you start moving around. As you can see, we're pulling 9.5 gigabytes of video memory allocated and 9.4 of RAM. Now these numbers slightly go out the more you move around the game, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think this game is absolutely playable at 20 frames. Like, you can... Yeah, I don't think that's the case. And the reason why this is happening, and this is, again, going back to the topic, a lot of people have actually commented on the wrong videos, I would want to say. This is a prime example of CPU bottleneck, and the way you can see it, if you see the frame time right next to the frames, which is 53 milliseconds. This means that the GPU needs to wait on the CPU to deliver data. This is how the bottleneck actually looks like. The GPU load is going from 96 to 98, 98 to 95, and frame time kinda jumps up and down because whatever happens needs to get somewhere. And this is with NVIDIA Reflex low latency mode on, so even though NVIDIA is trying to get the cycle with the CPU, it's failing to do so. So what do we have? With an i5-96K and 4070 Ti, we're getting 20 frames in 4K on Ultra settings. So, number one, reduce the resolution, go for 2K or Full HD. Might be playable, but this is just to show the actual performance of the game, which I did not expect, but it is how it is. But the moment we actually go into the graphics and we select super sampling to, let's say, DLSS, we go for balanced. For whatever reason the frame generation is off, but let's just apply these settings first. But the beam, bada boom, we're above 60 frames, right? And look at the frame time. The frame time has literally improved from 50 milliseconds to 10 and 11, which I would want to say is about average. Now the GPU load has reduced from 96, 98 to 94, 92, because obviously with a balanced, we're no longer in 4K. Technically, I do believe we should be downscaled to about 2K or maybe even below, but at least this is now playable. So, in reality, yes, you can play games in 4K on a budget, or if you're running an ancient system like I am, which I'm getting a lot of comments about, that, oh, 96K and in 4K, bottlenecks everywhere. Well, fair enough, okay, you win. But it still means it looks pretty decent. Now, obviously, if we would go and look for some sort of DLSS artifacting somewhere around the edges of the branches, the movement, the smoke, you will see and find something. If we're going to just mash some monsters, I think we actually would be absolutely fine. So as long as the frame rate actually keeps where it is, I don't see the reason why it would not, you know, be a viable option for playing these games if you have this system. Now, Obviously, in 2024, everyone's rocking anything else but an i5-96K. And my controller just started vibrating, which means that there is a controller support. Obviously, there's a controller support because this game is also Steam Deck verified. So, well, there you go. Also, I think I just need to unplug the controller. Do apologize for that. I was not expecting for the game. With the keyboard and mouse setup to also duplicate itself for always ready on a controller, which I guess is a good thing. If you're tired of mouse and keyboard, you just grab the controller and continue from there. But it wasn't doing it the last time I launched the game, so yeah, it is how it is. In terms of everything else, as you can see, the quite generic thing. So there's some healing potions, 2 healing potions, we have an axe, we have a flint, or a musket, call it as you want, and we're essentially just gonna be going for that huge gate, because apparently that's where all the baddies are, and then we need to kind of go through the motions. But overall, I must say, the Steam reviews are mostly positive. For 74% of all the reviews, which is roughly around 300 reviews left. Some of the more hardcore gamers have pointed out that mechanics are a bit clunky, unfinished apparently, but overall it's actually pretty decent. So I'm just gonna go with them, because I do not play Souls-like games or Soul-Lite games at all, or even roguelites, so I would not know. I'm just here to see the numbers, and numbers themselves honestly kind of look pretty decent. So, you know, it's just, it's fine. Oh, that's a tiny little pistol there. Okay. Shoot your primary firearm. Okay. Black powder charges. Okay. Black powder charges. Whatever that is. Oh, that was quite quick. So you need to lock on and then you can shoot. Oh, fair enough, you know. Not the worst case.
Can't even aim right.
Ah, that was interesting. We're healing. I don't know, this literally feels like the Banishers a little bit, you know, Banishers of Eden. I won't want to say that the feeling is different.
Bring it on.
Hello. The combat itself kind of reminds of Remnant, and this is just me not being played any Souls games. I did try Elden Ring just to see how it runs, and it runs pretty well. But I think this is a mindset. When you play these types of games, you kind of need to have an idea why you're doing this. Oh no, is this a tutorial stage where I need to do a thing? Ah, I see, okay, it is a tutorial stage. Interrupt the attack.
Not so tough now, are you?
And there's a reputation system as well. Okay, fair enough. Oh well, okay. So yeah, I don't know, I don't really know too much about this game. It was on my radar because someone said the game dev studios has actually worked with a Sweet Baby Inc. and I don't know anything about all that jazz there, and honestly I kind of don't exactly care, because you know it's a personal preference if you want to go into that whole shebang. But I'm just here to look at the numbers. As I said, the numbers actually look pretty decent with DLSS-ON. Then again, which game does not look or work decent with DLSS? You know, end of the day, that's what the DLSS is for. When it's like, you know, poor man's turbo, you can't cut it natively, you just DLSS it. Very simple. And as long as it doesn't you know, there's no hiccups or anything else while you're DLSSing, why would you not do that? I mean, obviously everyone wants to play in 4K native resolution, ultra settings, 60 frames plus, but that's gonna literally cost you, you know, like, end of the day, that's gonna be quite expensive to run such a setup. I need to hold the Q, okay. Well, of course it's possible, but yeah. parry system as well. Okay, at least that's the same button. Unless I'm actually gonna die here, but that's a different question. Parry timings are obviously a bit required to get used to, but nevertheless. Also, I cannot hear a single game audio thing, and I didn't even disable the audio that much. It should have been actually all around us, and apparently that's one of the things as well, so yeah. And of course, unblockables. Yeah, this is press shift to dodge. No, that's
What in the pits are you doing here?
okay. Wasn't too bad. Obviously, if you put some effort into it, it's gonna be fine. But yeah.
I can't let you.
You could get killed.
Please.
But here we are. So, in general, I would want to say, is it playable? Yes, at least if you're rocking 96K, 4070 Ti and you want to do it in 4K, well, you have to DLSS it. There's no way around it. If you're running anything else, which obviously is more decent and more new and more refreshed and more powerful, you might actually pull it off completely fine as well. But overall, it's playable, and yeah, you know, if you like it, why not? Like, just, you know, just play it. And apparently now we're gonna go and meet a god, and then we're gonna do a thing or 20. So we'll see how that looks.
What have you done?
Getting us through.
Ah, this looks good.
Those gouges on the wall are glowing. Why are they glowing?
So yeah, I mean, the game itself, I wouldn't want to say that it looks
They've been here for
breathtaking, like not by any stretch of the word.
While they were fleeing the city.
They look
But
smug.
it also doesn't look bad, like, eh,
The dead don't do that. Keep your
I don't know, you know, end of the day, it's not like the graphics are the most important thing in nowadays gaming. There's a good storyline and good combat mechanics, end of the day, why not? I mean, just look at the first Descendant, literally exactly the same thing. Performance-wise, could be better, but at the same time, you know, if it's just your regular go do a thing, progress and fight bosses, why not? So yeah, outside of that, I think that's all I have for you guys today. You've seen enough. Definitely leave a comment down below of how badly I'm bottlenecked, because that's apparently the story of my life, and I'll see you next time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Over now.